Hey, it's Jonathan from Enable Leaders. I want to talk today to you about a skill that's rarely discussed in leadership, and it's on the topic of tactfulness. We're going to define it, we're going to break down why it matters, and I'm even going to tell you a story about how tactfulness really helped me through a very difficult situation. So, what is tactfulness? Merriam-Webster says it's a keen sense of what to do or what to say in order to maintain relations with others to avoid offense. So, that's the really clinical version. How I see it is really about telling the truth without wrecking the relationship. And it's balancing this sense of honesty and empathy, especially in some moments when the stakes can be really high. So, one really interesting example for me, a number of years ago, I worked at a flooring store and I was doing sales. And I had a customer who I had booked this job. It was complicated. We had to do it in multiple stages. And I came in and we were supposed to do the install. And I was just a part time employee. We were doing the install the next day. And lo and behold, I'm checking things as I should. And her carpet had been sold. And so I had to call this lady, and unbeknownst to me, she had just had hip surgery. And so she had to drive in, having just had hip surgery. No one was there to help her. And it was just such a heavy experience in many ways. And ultimately, when she came in the door, I mean, you could see she was just furious and completely understandable. But the difference in that situation was we had to get through it. And so being as tactful as I possibly could. And to her credit, she was incredibly kind, probably much more kind than I would have been in the same situation. And so it's really important to be tactful, even when you're dealing with pressure. In a classic MIT article, Edgar Schein talks about this concept of face and protecting that as one of 9 ways to build and maintain real human relationships. And in leadership, it's not just about saying the thing, but you have to say it in a way that it doesn't destroy trust. I once saw a boss of mine blow up at a rep because they just completely dropped the ball on delivering a product that had been promised. Frankly, all that needed to be communicated was things didn't show up. And that rep would have felt bad enough as it was. But my boss decided to just go absolutely over the top. So the important thing to remember is tact allows you to tell the truth without leaving a bunch of wreckage behind. Behavioral scientist Gleb Tapersky really has a great insight here. Sometimes people don't reject the truth because it's wrong, but they reject it because somehow it's associated with their identity and that's somehow threatening to them. So if you want to help somebody shift their perspective, be curious and start with questions, understand their values, understand where they're coming from. And tact is not about being manipulative, but it's about being effective. Here's a few things that I've found really useful for myself and for others that I've been dealing with. First, pause before you speak. Let your nervous system settle in those moments where things feel tense and they feel really overwhelming. Second, I want you to think about leading with intent. I'm sharing this with you because I care about the outcome. I care about you. That can be a great place to start. Also, know when to wait. This is part of reading the room, and maybe you're not in a good place. Maybe they're not in a good place. If that is the case, if you can, try and reschedule or pause until later. I want you to think about the element of cultural sensitivity as well. As an example, when I was there, I was teaching technology at a school in Beijing, and I learned that giving feedback to certain cultures, especially, they were much more sensitive to this concept of preserving face and saving face. And so always be thinking about how you can better deliver the message. It doesn't mean you don't have to tell the truth, but you have to be forthright and allow them to save face. So the next time you've got to say something hard, I want you to think about and ask yourself, how can I protect what is true and deliver the truth, but also preserve the relationship as well? That's really what being tactful is all about. And If this resonated with you, please share it with somebody, because I know for sure you've got somebody in your life that you're thinking of right now. If you like this video, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and follow for more, and we'll see you next time.